Well, good Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lugnuts Extra Innings. We have a lot to catch up with today with Jesse Goldberg-Strassler and Adam Jaksa. We had a great week of baseball in South Bend, taking 3 of 5, only 5 because we did have a rain out yesterday. I think nobody's really complaining because we actually needed the rain across the Midwest, but we had rain yesterday. 3 of 5, though, another series win for the Lugnuts. How was it from your perspective?
Well, first, Adam pointed this out immediately. The Lugnuts have now won a 7-game series, a 6-game series, a 5-game series, and a 3-game series.
Pretty sure we're the only team in the Midwest League to do that, so give us the trophy now, right?
Yeah, there you go. Or even have series of those lengths to win, right? And that was, of course, due to other weather earlier in the year that kind of played a role in April. But now we're getting into the middle of June, and this team coming off a winning series, can they keep that momentum going next week?
Well, the two things that they need to combine, the pitching has been there. For example, Jack Perkins tossed a gem on Saturday.
His second time. He's an Indiana native from Kokomo. He goes down to Fort Wayne a couple of weeks ago, 6 2/3 innings. Then on Saturday, 7 innings, his longest outing professionally, shutout baseball. The Lugnuts win 3-1. So it's been the case, being an athletics affiliate, when they get good starting pitching, that's how they win games. They get off to a good start, and they did that a couple times in this series.
But the thing that had been missing, that we suddenly started to see a couple of weeks ago at home, the power. Suddenly getting those clutch home runs and getting it from multiple people. Max Muncy, Danny Batista Jr., Johnny Butler, that's what they had been lacking. And when they get that power, when they get those home runs, that changes things.
They had just over 20 home runs through the first 45 games of the year. And to Jesse's point, they've now hit 12 home runs in their last 10 games. Johnny Butler's got 4 home runs in that 10-game stretch. Euribiel Angeles has started to show his power with 3 home runs in that stretch.
Yeah. What I loved about Johnny Butler's home run was he hit it, it disappeared.
You just knew.
Yeah, I have no idea where that ball came down.
Into the stratosphere. That's what they say, right? You know, the outfielder didn't move. It just looked at it. He's like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
When you talk about the South Bend Cubs, obviously a team where you take 3 of 5, you feel pretty good about yourself. Now you're coming home. You're going to play Peoria this week. Hopefully get all 6 games in this week. We shall see. This week, when you look at Peoria, what challenges do they present to the Lugnuts?
They've got a pitcher named Tink Hence.
That's a name.
Tink Hence, number one, you go, okay, with a name like that, are you going to live up to it? He does. He's got a live arm. He could have the best arm in the Midwest League. They've got a guy who's stolen 40 bases. They've got some of the best hitters in the league. It's the Cardinals affiliate, so when they come in, and Jacksonville is such a great hitter's haven, they're going to probably be comfortable as they start things up. So the question is, can the Lugnuts carry things forward?
Yeah, one of those teams that is lower in the Midwest League in home runs, and then they come to Jackson Field, and there's an opportunity there. But just like Jesse said, you go from South Bend, who leads the league in stolen bases, to now Peoria, who sits in second. So we'll be tough series again this week.
That said, we've got some big days coming up, and I think we're going to have some big crowds. And the crowd energy changes the dynamic at Jackson Field.
Yeah, we're going to get to the promotions coming up in just a second, but I do want to talk about, you mentioned Jackson Field, a sluggers park. We've seen it, and we've had sluggers throughout the years with the Lugnuts, and now taking part in the MLB. Of course, Ryan Noda is a guy that we wanted to highlight today for his performance, leading the American League in OPS, which is pretty impressive. Or sorry, on-base percentage, not OPS, on-base percentage. But his play has been phenomenal this past week.
Yeah, Master Noda. You would think that a guy in his rookie year in baseball, and he debuted on his birthday on March 30th, you would think that he doesn't yet have the respect of umpires. He does. He walked 109 times in Lansing in 2018. That set the franchise record. He's doing the exact same thing for the A's. He's drawing walks and hitting with power.
And to think about the A's, for all their struggles this year, here they are with Noda leading the AL in on-base percentage. They've now won 5 in a row, and it's great to see. Certainly he's helping their case now as that offense has started to click a little bit for Oakland.
I would say you see Oakland winning some games for the first time in a while, and meanwhile, the Detroit Tigers here in Michigan have been sputtering, is a nice way to put it with their offense especially.
That's where you coin the term June swoon.
Yeah,
say,
right.
Come on now, it's summertime.
Yeah.
Let's lift up the spirits.
Yeah. But speaking of this week, you mentioned a lot of big promotional nights coming this week. Of course, tomorrow, the first game of the series, we have tacos and tall boys. And there's also a lot of other things, including you're wearing your Lugnuts Pride shirt right now, Pride Night at the ballpark as well.
Yeah, partnering with all sorts of different community groups to go along with tacos and tall boys. So that's going to immediately start up this homestand on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday right into it, a Dog Days of Summer with a Copa, with the Lugnuts playing as the Lansing Lugnuts. Adam's looking forward to 90s night. You've got your starter jacket ready. No, really what Adam's looking forward to is Friday night, Star Wars night.
Star Wars night.
Ooh,
I
big
mean,
night.
Adam's looking forward to Saturday and Sunday. I mean, Saturday we've got Rush night with Cooper Rush, Fire Up Chips.
Great play on
bobblehead
words
night.
there.
Yes.
Great play on words.
And then, of course, you got Father's Day to celebrate to finish off the weekend at Capital City Market Kids Day on Sunday. So we are chocked full with promotions this week.
Yeah, that Cooper Rush bobblehead on Saturday, the Lugnuts uniforms that they're going to wear to, as tribute to Rush. Rush out to the ballpark.
Rush out to the. I love the play on words. As soon as I saw that earlier this year, I was like, that's smart. I like what they're doing with that. And what better way to spend Father's Day too than at the ballpark? If you're sitting at there and you're at home and you're like, oh, I don't really know what I'm going to do for my father for Father's Day yet. Ballpark's always a great answer, right?
Well, I mean, I think that you're a really good example of this in terms of generations with baseball connecting.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching just about every Tigers game, no matter how bad they were in the early 2000s. And then, of course, things did shift around for the Tigers in the mid-2000s and then the 2010s. But, yeah, I mean, it is really it's a familial thing, right? A lot of kids grow up watching with their mom or their dad, and it just gets passed down through generations. And not only that, but it's an affordable thing to do on Father's Day. A lot of people maybe not have the financial funds to get a big gift for their father on Father's Day, but you can always take them out to the park, and I'm sure you've seen that throughout the years on Father's Day, maybe some bigger crowds on those Sundays.
Yeah, when I first joined the Lugnuts, the big competitor we were always told was not the Detroit Tigers. It's movie theaters. If the weather's not so great and there's a great movie coming out in theaters, families will want to go there. But if the weather is perfect, if everything lines up, you come out to the ballpark, you spend the day outside, and you spend the day with your family. And it's funny you mention the Tigers because there's a Tiger kid, a Tiger cub, I guess I should say, on the Lugnuts. We mentioned Danny Batista Jr. with his clutch home run to beat South Bend, and Danny Batista Sr. came up through the Detroit Tigers. But I would say, if the weather lines up, you spend this weekend with us.
And knock on wood, our last homestand against Cedar Rapids, we had beautiful weather just a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully this week too.
Hopefully this week too. I know we have the mention of rain, especially on Tuesday. We have our meteorologist sitting over there in the corner. He was mentioning that on Tuesday, but we have a great weather just in general for this week, as we've had the past few weeks as well for baseball. You guys have been a little spoiled with almost no rain the last month or so in mid-Michigan.
I've learned with meteorologists, thank them for the beautiful weather,
There you
leave them
go.
alone, otherwise if there's question marks.
It's not their fault, right? Yeah, he's making a comment over there. All right, Jesse, Adam, thank you guys so much for joining us as well. Again this morning, we have a great week of Lugnuts baseball coming up at home this week at Jackson Field, and we mentioned a lot of the promotional nights that they're having at the field and at the ballpark. So make sure to head out there and check out the Lansing Lugnuts as they take on the Peoria Chiefs. Are we doing a Go Nuts thing?
You want to?
Apparently we're doing a Go Nuts thing.
ready.
So we had to put our hands in, right?
We don't have to
We don't
if you
have to
don't
put our
want
hands in?
to.
No,
We
we're
can
doing
just
it.
say,
We're doing it.
Okay.
What if we do a
gotta
Let's
do a-
Go Nuts?
Oh, I like that. All right. We're going to leave you with this. Let's
Go.
Nuts!
have a great week, everybody.